What happened? It's out? Oh. Hello, guys. How, how are you doing today? Hope you're doing good this evening here on is it a Tuesday or something? Wednesday, maybe? Ashley says it's Thursday. How are you doing today on a Thursday? I hope you guys are doing good wherever you are. I am doing good here where I am. Hello, Bill. Hello, Noreen, Beverly, Joy, everyone else. By the way, I'm going to have the comments here, but I'm also going to have them here. So if you see me looking at this way, we're just reading the comments, okay? This is just an easy way to set her up. So we're doing the dishes today. If you're new to the channel and are wondering why, well, I used to do this all the time, and it's basically my my answer your questions period, or just talk about nothing if no one has any questions. And I figured I'd do this because, what was it? Yesterday or the day before? I think it was the day before. I went live, and I gave a tour of my basement, sort of. It turned into a couple tours. Did a tour of the dead goat trail in the Gapwing Forest. Did a little tour of the shop. And I got a couple comments saying, wow, this is like nostalgic. You know? This is the old Josh. Well, not that I'm not the same person, but I used to do these all the time. I used to do lives way more often. And I just kind of stopped doing them because, well, it's more so a time thing because we got a dishwasher, so I stopped needing to do the dishes. So then I stopped doing the lives because I was doing other things. But today we happen to have dishes to do because these ones don't typically get washed in the dishwasher, and we happen to have a bunch. And so here we are. We have a nostalgic moment again, perhaps. I don't know. It's up to you guys to decide. Look, I even have a mustache. Does that bring back memories of those of you who grew up in the 70s? My mustache is not very impressive. But it's the only thing I can grow, okay? I hope you guys are doing good wherever you are. If you have a... Oh, hello, Teresa. Teresa Menicucci sent $5 and nothing else, and as in didn't write a comment. So I appreciate you. But anyways, I noticed the stash, LOL. Okay, if you guys remember, we got the apple flavored soap. Apple scented soap. Put a little bit of that on there. Of course, we use Dawn because it's good for the... I don't know if it's good for the planet, but it's less toxic for the planet, or so they say. Also, 50% less scrubbing, I guess. This is the dishwashing liquid. Remember how I always got the hand washing liquid? Well, guess what, guys? We got the right stuff, and it still smells the same. We also have this. I'm a taper by trade, so you gotta have the sunlight. If you're a taper, you know why you would use this. In fact, it might be interesting for everyone else as well. But the sunlight, you can use this soap in particular, is good when you're mudding over a painted wall. Some people will use it everywhere. I wouldn't recommend that in my opinion. But if you are taping over a wall that's been painted, you put that in there, it will help reduce fish eyes in your skims. So there is that. That's not actually why we bought that. I was just making that up, and then I realized that my reasoning for having it by saying I'm a taper wouldn't make any sense. So now I've explained this and basically told you I was lying. I don't know why we have the sunlight, but we do have it. Yeah. Oh, thank you very much, Noreen. Thank you, Noreen Dye. She also sent $5. Also didn't say anything. But thank you. Amy is here. Candace says they use the same dish soap. Wendy says hello. Carol says Dawn's the best. And Beverly Settle says why? 3 question marks. But I don't know what they're asking why to. So, sorry, I don't know how to answer your question. The answer why, the best answer I can come up, or the question why, the best answer I can come up with is because. Angel is here. Brian is here. What is that? I can't really see on here. What is that pink thing? Is that a soap bar? Soap? Ah, dishes, knives, and waves. Beverly says, you answered it. Because that was a good answer. What was for supper? Supper. Today we had pierogies, which I didn't really like these pierogies, unfortunately. But pierogies are usually pretty good. But these ones in particular had a I don't know what the, you know, like the shell or whatever you want to call it. Whatever they made that part with, the insides were good, but the shell part, I don't know what it's called. The blanket part, I don't know. This brand, I don't really like them, but I don't know. This one, it wasn't tomatoey like the other ones that I had before. If you guys remember way back in the day when I was saying about the tomato pierogies, which is so weird. I don't even know if it was tomato. Whatever it wasn't good. But anyways, we had that. We had some beans, which were delicious. They were from our garden last year. And we had these stuffed chicken breasts, which, believe it or not, one of my clients, where I did his basement, and actually, that was one of the times that one of my employees was like, nah, I'm not going to help you. And so Ashley helped me drywall and not first coat, but tape, like fire tape, this basement. But anyways, that client, they told me, like one day I was over there doing something else, and he's like, hey, you want lunch? And I was like, I usually say no, and I probably did say no this time, but he must have insisted. And he made a stuffed chicken breast for me from Costco, and they're so good. It's like a apple something. Anyways, if you go to Costco, they have like these, I don't know if it's Costco brand or if it's a different brand, but it's like it's apple something. But they're so good. If it wasn't for, his name is Mike. If it wasn't for Mike, I wouldn't know about these. But they are delicious. It's called dough. Pierogies are filled dough. Yeah, obviously it's dough, but it's like a shell, right? It's like a casing. Duh, it's dough. That's that's like saying they're potatoes when talking about potato chips. They're potatoes. Potato chips are made out of potatoes. Yeah, no, I know it's dough, but what is it? What is it called? It's dough that creates a what? Oh, we're going to get story time too. At least some tall tales and BS. Why? What have I said that's not true? Have you ever gotten recognized in public because of YouTube? Yeah. It doesn't happen that often. It used to happen more so. I guess pre-COVID, obviously. I don't know, maybe like once or twice a week. Nah, not once or twice a week. Like once or, let's say like a handful of times a month. Someone would be like, hey, are you Josh? And I would say, huh? Sorry, ma'am. Or sorry, sir. You have the wrong man. No, I wouldn't say that. I would say, yes, I am Josh. And they're like, do you have a YouTube channel? I would say, YouTube? I have a Vimeo, but I don't have a YouTube. No, I wouldn't say that either. But yeah. It used to happen. Sometimes it happens still, but not that often. But also, I don't have a lot of subscribers, so I don't know what one is to expect. But yeah, sometimes. When is the next Cooking with Josh episode? The Dorito noodles were good. Well, those, I usually did those when Ashley would work her night shifts, or not night shifts, what do you call it, like evening shifts. But I haven't done one lately because we've been trying to, well, I guess it just comes down to busyness. Been trying to, I got like this monthly goal that I'm always trying to reach, and it takes a lot of time. Anyway, so I haven't done a lot of that because it takes extra time to do the whole thing, you know, whatever, but doesn't mean that I won't ever do it again. I'm just not sure when I will do it. Maybe I'll do one tomorrow. How about that? I'll do one tomorrow. Since we're doing a live today, because right now I'm only working on 2 projects. I'm working on a painting, which I was going to do all in one day, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to go a different route with this painting, and we'll see how it turns out. It may be absolute garbage, and I may decide to scrap it all together, or I might follow through, but we'll see. I don't know why I've decided to do it this way. I just did, and I don't know. We'll see. And then I'm working on a commission piece that is taking forever. I have to go get a specific piece of metal for it, which I will do on, what day is it today? What did you say it was? Thursday? So I can get it on, I think Saturday I can get it. So we'll see. And then I can continue on with that piece. But if you follow my Instagram, both of them, either one of them, well, both of them really, Ushicat has the one project, which some people are guessing correct, some people are guessing way wrong, and I think some people are putting in guesses like just jokes, just trying to be funny, which I appreciate the humor in there. And then on the My Hands Gallery Instagram, on there, I am doing a painting, the painting that I'm talking about. My kids are pretty famous YouTubers, and they get recognized all over the world. Makes them all proud. Oh, cool. What is their YouTube channel? Maybe people will want to go follow them. I'm definitely not famous, so I cannot relate, but maybe one day. Are you guys like me in the way that you may hate washing these strainer things, these colanders? The metal ones always seem to want to keep souvenirs in them. What music am I listening to at the moment? Oh, Day One is here. Okay, Day One, don't leave yet. The music that I was listening to today, I was listening to some Candace Owens. I was listening to some John Lennon. I was listening to Gail. The A, B, C, D, E, F, you and your mom and your and I was listening to, there's this song. I don't know what her name is. I think she was a TikTok person. I think the song is called Like My Father. You guys might like that song, so I suggest looking it up. It might not be called that. You might be able to find it by typing in, I need somebody who loves me like my father loves my mom. I think those are the lyrics. Anyways, great song. Listening to that, and I was listening to some give me fuel, give me fire, give me no chances are. I was listening to that. You know, I don't have the best singing voice. And some other stuff, some Eminem, a bunch of different things. I usually listen to podcasts, but I've caught up on all my podcasts. So yeah, that's the music I was listening to. Day One. Okay, so Day One, guys. Day One is my friend from Red Deer, and he's doing The plastic ones are easier to clean, but you still gotta check them holes. He's doing the whole art thing as well. So if you guys want to go click on his name and subscribe to his channel, you might enjoy his work. He also has Instagram under the same handle. I think that's good. So make sure you go check him out. If we have a moderator on, I don't know, you can post his link, please. How are the chickens? Are they still out of the shop? Yeah, it's still warm out, so they're still outside in their own home. From back here, your electric mixer looks like a little robot skull. Right there? Yeah, it kind of does. Graders, am I right? Wow, double drainers to wash. Double drainers to wash? What? What podcasts are your favorites? My favorite podcast, probably Making It with Jimmy DiResta, Bob Claggett, and David Picciuto. Joe Rogan Experience, Bill Burr's Monday Morning Podcast. Although I haven't listened to that in a long time, so I don't even know why it came to mind. I used to listen to every single episode, but for some reason I just stopped, and I don't even know why exactly. My favorite murder, Against the Odds, and the Ear Biscuits, and I'm trying to think. For some reason, it's hard to think of what you listen to all the time when you're trying to think of it. But I listen to them every day, so yeah. Okay, let's go again. Joe Rogan Experience. Making It. Oh yeah, you know why I'm thinking? It's because there's some podcasts that are taking a break right now. So yeah. This American Life and what's that other NPR one? It's freaking Radiolab. Radiolab. I really liked Radiolab when I first started listening to it. Actually, no, that's a lie. The first time I listened to Radiolab, it was the Animal Minds, I think it's called. I listened to that episode, and I hated it. But now that's the one that I recommend to people because it's so good. The reason why I didn't like it is because I didn't like the sound design at first. But then I kept listening to it because like I would listen to it while I was working. So when I used to work for Steve's the one who's been helping me with the cutting boards. Although he hasn't as of late, but you guys have seen him on the blog. I used to work for him. He used to be my boss, and he was a taper, and he was teaching me how to tape. And we would do these homes and apartments, or whatever. And he would give me his what is it called? Audible account, or it was like when you could buy books, right, on Amazon, and then it would go on to whatever. Anyways, I would listen to the books that he had on tape, or whatever you call it. And when I listened to them all, they were all Stephen King books. Oh, you might like this podcast. And he's like, I listened to this podcast called Radiolab. And so I started listening to Radiolab, and I was like, this is trash. I don't want to listen to this. But I had nothing else to listen to, so I listened to it, and then it like grew on me within like 5 minutes. And I was like, you know what? I don't know why I didn't give this a chance. And so now, since then, when I don't like podcasts right off the bat, I give them I give them more of a chance because I'm like, maybe I just need to get used to it, or like suss out the groove that the podcast is trying to bring me on, and then I'll listen to them. And usually I'll finish the whole episode and then decide not to listen to another one or listen to another one, depending. So if you haven't listened to Radiolab, I suggest going back to Animal Minds, not the rerun, but the first version of it. Now it seems like they're only doing reruns, which I don't really like. It's new hosts, which is fine. The new hosts are fine. But they seem to just be introducing old podcasts and I don't really know why they're doing that. Uh, I don't get it, but I still listen to them because the podcast is still good. So Radiolab is a big one. I listen to all of them. This American Life, I listen to all of those. I listen to almost all of the Joe Rogan Experience, except for I don't listen to the Fight Companions that often, because I, it's not that I don't like the UFC. Sorry, we're doing, there was a little, freaking buffer there. What was I saying? Okay, so okay, we're back. You're a murderino too. Oh yeah, yeah. I like my favorite murder. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So in the UFC, I watched certain fights. Um, like I'm gonna watch the next one. Um, but I like Connor. I like oh, obviously I'm gonna like George St. Pierre. He's Canadian. I like you know what? Probably the main ones. I like the old school dudes who are not. There we go. This might be it. Are we back? Maybe we need to stop talking about the UFC because I just keep buffering. Day one says I'm a Diaz fan myself. Dude, I don't mind Nate Diaz. I like both the Diaz brothers because they're not flashy, although I do like the flashiness too. But I like how they're like so matter of fact. They're not necessarily like super ripped or anything. They just look like normal dudes. I mean, they are somewhat ripped. I like that because it's just like, hey, I'm regular. I'm just gonna beat his ass because I'm just so good. Um, okay, so we're back. Hello from the Philippines, Bill. Hello, Bill. Check out S-Town if you haven't. I think you'd like it. I don't know if I've ever listened to that, but I've definitely heard of it. Josh, since you're in the kitchen, what is your favorite meal to make? I own a barbecue catering business and cooking is my life. My favorite meal to make? My favorite meal to make, I don't have a favorite meal to make, honestly, but I have a meal that has been my favorite that I've made, as in like it tasted the best, and I don't even know how I did it anymore. And it was a steak, and it was so freaking good. I made myself the best steak I've ever had, and I don't even know how I did it. And I've tried, I'm chasing that steak. I'm chasing it, and I can't, yeah. I'm not a very good cook, to be honest. I just like to experiment, and perhaps I would become a good cook if I understood flavor palette stuff. I don't even know if that's what it's called. But I just kind of make a guess. I'm like, okay, we're making something with whatever meat, right? Like tomorrow we'll make something. We'll make a bit of an experiment tomorrow, okay? So tomorrow I'm gonna make dinner on a live, unless I forget. Okay? I know that we're gonna have chicken. So from there, I'm gonna make something up, more or less. Okay? So if you want to know how I cook, tune in tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow, and we'll see. And I'll let you know if it tastes good or if it didn't taste good. Yeah, I can't really explain it better than if you were watching. My movie theater has started showing UFC on the big screen. Oh, that's a smart idea. Nick's pretty good too. Italiano on everything. Italiano is some of the best. Some of the best spice, like spice mix. By Clubhouse, I recommend anyone get it. If you spend over $100 with me and you request Italiano, I will send you an Italiano. because it's a Canadian thing. I'm sure you can get it other places, but it's carried in most grocery stores here, whereas in grocery stores that I've checked, in the US at least, I have not seen it. I've seen other Italian spice, but it's not the same. Okay, I'm gonna do a water change here. I use lemon pepper because it's literally lemon, pepper, and salt. Hey, if you like that, then you should absolutely use it. I love Italiano. I'm almost out of it. Sick. Did you get it from me, or did you find it, or did you always have it? Not available in the US as Smurfette. Smurfette was in the Los Angeles area, and I'm absolutely certain that she is correct. At least for her area. Because when I was there, I looked for it. Okay, let's get some more soap up in this beast. Ah, it's not really getting bubbly. There we go. Okay. Does anyone else have any stuff? Yes, in the States we have Italian seasoning, only as far as I have seen. Wait, you have Italian seasoning or you have Italiano? Wait, are you agreeing with me or are you saying that you disagree with me? Because if you don't have Italian, if you're saying you have Italian spice, I agree, you have Italian spice. But you probably don't have Italiano, which is different. Which is still an Italian spice, but it's a specific blend that's specifically delicious. Got mine on Amazon. Use it in eggs as you taught, John. As I taught, that's funny. What are the spices? What are the spices in yours? What do you mean? They sell it on Amazon. No, I agree with you. No Italian. Ah, okay. It says Italiano, imported from Canada. Okay, so it is. What brand is the Italian? It's Clubhouse. Here, I'll show you what it looks like. Most of this size bottle looks just like this. But there are other bottles as well. But this is the most common one. Okay, so what do we have in here? Let's read it out. Ingredients: dehydrated vegetables, onion, carrot, red bell pepper, garlic, green bell pepper, sugar, salt, spices, and herbs, including oregano and basil, high oleic sunflower oil, whatever that is. So sugar is the second ingredient here, and maybe that's why it's so good. I don't know. Okay. I don't know where you guys are from, but here, maybe this is common practice everywhere, or standard practice, but for your ingredients, when you list them, you have to list them in highest content to lowest content. Yeah. Is Mrs. Dash still a thing? Bro, Mrs. Dash, not bad. Mrs. Dash, I don't have it, and I don't know when the last time I had it, but I remember it. The Craftsman's, the 18-ounce bottle is 22 and change on Amazon. Same one. Nice. I checked Amazon a few weeks ago. It wasn't available. Oh no! I mean, there is a shortage of everything around here. We have a whole trucker thing and a whole fiasco. So we're having we were having a shortage before then as well. It's the same in the States. Most volume items listed first. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try to put this back on so I don't use up all my data like I did last month. There we go. It's like the Swiss Army spice. Okay, I don't know if you know this, day one, but you should move here. Where you're getting a decent amount of trouble. Mother Mother heck, that was hot. Ah. That's good, that's good. Oh, by the way, guys, if you didn't watch my latest vlog, you should go check it out. I think it's a fun one. I mean, not everyone liked it, but maybe you will. Run cold water over it. I just gave Amazon a quick check. Still can't find it. Dang. So if you need it, you spend $100 with me. That can be on prints, sculptures, cutting boards, merch, greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, rams, lambs, hogs, dogs, chickens, turkeys. You name it. Remember that? And you request an Italiano. I will go get an Italiano out of my thing. Actually, we have a stash of them in the packing room, actually. So I'll get them out of there. You know what's funny? When I go to the grocery store and I go and buy them all, they're like, I don't know, like $6 or something like that, I think, for one of them. So, they're not super expensive, but when you're buying like 20 of them, it's kind of expensive. So when you just have them all, you put them down, you look like an asshole because you just bought them all. And I'm like, guys, people outside of Canada need these. That's why I'm having them. Saving the world one Italiano at a time. I would give you the link, Yvonne Young, but can't put links. Oh. 6 available here. What am I looking for? I'm not looking for anything, but other people are looking for Italiano online, I guess. The latest vlog was fun. Hope your sanding wound is healing. Yeah, that's what just burnt with this water. That's why I was just like, because it was a little hot. Right on the actual. Today when I was washing my hands, I just scraped it off. It's not bleeding or anything, but it's, you know. No, not Italian spice, Kate. Or Cat. Italiano spice. Mine says 2 available. It says Tammy and Stacy. You should seek out an associate relationship with Italian. Dude, I don't, like, I give it away, so, like, I guess technically I buy it. But then they would, I don't know. Maybe I should. I need a, what do you call it, a manager or something? So that they could do that for me, because that's not my bag going up to companies and being like, hey, you should work with me because sometimes I mention your product. Hey Josh, Clubhouse also sells them in a tin. Oh, like the small tin, yeah. But I mean that's like enough for one meal. You gotta have it in the yeah, the little tin. Italiano spice. Sorry, I just got here. You love the spice and make us want to buy it. Hey, it's a good spice. Even if you don't necessarily like Italian spice, this is the one that you should get. Italiano. I forgot to bring one to Lance at Pack Mail there because he hadn't tried it yet, and I was there because the latest bonsai tree I brought to him to pack up and send out, so that should be on its way to the new owners. I forgot to bring it. Italian eye. You should see if Confections can order a case for you through one of their distributors. I guess, maybe. I've just woken up here in the UK. Have I missed much? Not much, but if you have a question, feel free to ask a question and I will try to answer it. I'm cracking up that it says proudly Canadian since 1883 around the lid seal. Does it actually? When did people start coming over from Italy? How old is Canada? 1816, right? Or something? Hold on. No, 1767 is how old Canada is. Right? 1767? 1816 was the war with the US. Right? Yeah. Shoot, I don't freaking even know. $1867? Wait, what did I say? 1812. Wait, what did I say? 1816? 1812 was the war with the US. Okay. Are you making any banana bread boards in batch D? Smaller boards. I am making banana bread boards in batch D, absolutely. It does say it's been a product since 1883. 1867. Question, your house seems quite isolated. How far are you from town? Ah, you must be new to the channel. Wait, no you're not. Carriage of no return. Yeah, you're not new. Ah, you must not watch very often. So, we're not very far from town. We are kind of far from the city. Well, not really. We're about, I would say, half an hour at a brisk walk to the city, and we're about 10 minutes from the nearest town, being Stony Plain. But it's funny because I usually skip over Stony Plain because there's nothing there, and go to Spruce Grove, which is about an extra 5 minutes. But Stony Plain and Spruce Grove seem to be turning into one larger city, not large, but like bigger than they are individually. I like that surfboard that Josh watched. Yeah, that was a gift from this one right here. This is a gift from my in-laws. They went to Hawaii. It's made out of bamboo. Vikings first in Canada. No, I'm not asking who landed in Canada first because, like, obviously natives were first in Canada. I'm asking when did it become Canada? Like, when was it first a country? Not when it was first settled and stuff. I'm asking, like, I guess I did ask when did they first come over, but I was wondering, like, as an established, hey, let's go over there because it's Canada. I don't even know how to talk. Since you're in the kitchen, what is your favorite meal to cook? Already answered that. And it was more of a non-answer. I don't really have a favorite meal to cook because I can't really cook very good. I did say I will be cooking a meal tomorrow. I like to experiment and hope that it turns out good. But my favorite meal that I have cooked was the steak that I cooked. It was so freaking good, but I don't remember how I did it. I don't remember the cut. I don't remember is it called a cut? I guess a cut. I don't remember the temperature. I don't remember the method. I don't remember if it was in butter. It wasn't butter. I do remember that actually. I don't remember what spices I put on it. I don't remember if I had it at room temperature or fridge temperature. I don't remember any of the details that matter. Or I don't know if they matter that much. I'm not a cook, but dang. I can't stand that I can't make it again. Oh, it was buffering. Ah, okay. In 1867, with the union of the three British North American colonies through Confederation, Canada was formed as a federal dominion of 4 provinces. Ah, okay. Can you explain what purple heart wood is? What tree does it come from? It comes from a purple heart tree. It is an African and Brazilian found tree. A lot of it comes from Brazil because of the rainforest. But we also get a decent amount coming from somewhere in Africa. I'm not sure where. Africa is obviously a huge place. Um, I'm sure it comes from more than Brazil, but Brazil probably has a mill that exports it. Maybe that's popular. I don't know. And it's a brown tree on the outside, but its heartwood is purple. Its sapwood is brown and kind of like a muddy reddish brown. Like I don't know how to explain it better than that. It doesn't. It's not very pretty, but the inside is really nice. Um, Canada's going socialist, says Hansy Skier. Canada has been pretty socialist for like ever, but maybe you mean like it's going more social. Um, Not really. I don't know. I don't know how to. I don't know. I guess I don't really know what you mean, because a lot of people will say, "Oh, liberal government, so obviously it's evil and the devil's sneaking into schools and stuff, and more people get freedom and equal rights. That's bad." If you mean socialist like that, I don't know how to answer that. We have social programs like social medicine, kind of have social schools. Like obviously we have public schools that are funded by tax dollars, but you still have to pay for like, you know, college and university and whatever else. I don't know, private school. That probably makes sense. I mean, we have fire departments that are funded, tax dollar funded, police departments. I don't know, some other stuff. I don't know. I guess it depends on what you mean. But it has been pretty social for a long time, but it's not socialist in the like we're not like some of the European social countries. But yeah, no, I don't know. See you later, day one. Have a good night, everyone, he says. Caring for the well-being of all its people, is a good thing. Yeah, I would say. Everyone in Canada is social, says Chris. College, etc. is more subsidized. Yeah, you can get like, for me, how's this for social? I can go to college or university for free, even if I drop out. It is still paid for because of treaty rights, because I'm native. So in those terms, that's different. The average citizen, let's say the non-status citizen, can get scholarships from the government, can get scholarships from cities, can get scholarships from the actual school, can get scholarships from their old school, can get scholarships from private businesses, stuff like that. If that's a social program, considered a social program, then yes, absolutely. And then also our schooling is not nearly as expensive as, like, say, American schooling, but it is still expensive. Like, I don't know. Like, I went to school for power engineering. I didn't have to pay for it, and neither did my band. So I don't know if you guys are familiar, but like a reservation will be made up of a tribe, clan, or band, and the designation is based off of something that was decided in the past. For me, we call it a band. It's the Urban Skin Band, and they pay for things through whatever, I don't know, treaty rights, right? Treaty 6, something like that. Anyway, for me though, when I went to post-sec or for like college, whatever stuff, I never graduated high school, so it was a little different. But since it's blue collar, it's different anyway. They didn't have to pay for it. Well, we never even asked them to because my job paid for it. And basically, it cost like like $5,000 or something like that. And basically, it was like an accelerated, I guess you could call it an accelerated program. So you didn't have to go to school every day. And I only went to school, I think, 3 times a week, I think, or maybe only 2 times a week. And it was only for like, I want to say like 3 hours a day, I think. I can't really remember, but I do remember that I barely, uh, I barely paid attention. I did not want to do this power engineering. I've never even used it because I got fired from that job. I quit that job first and then I got fired. But yeah. But the comment was about the school being subsidized. So yeah. We do have subsidized programs. Whoa! But some people, in fact, most people have to pay whatever the tuition is what the tuition is. But it's not that bad. Like, you can go to school for like, I don't know, like $20,000 or something like that, where maybe in the US you might have to go for like $100,000. Like for, I don't know how to come, I don't know, because I didn't go to school for these things. I don't really ask people, but like, okay, so my friend went to school like business degree, and it cost him like $10,000, I think. And if you guys know someone who went to business school, you might be able to compare it. Like maybe maybe they paid, I don't know, 50 grand. I don't know. I have no idea. But apparently it's way cheaper. Or maybe that's just what they want us to think. I don't know. But some people will go to the US for schooling because they'll have a better program or a more interesting program or something that suits them better. Like Johnny B, he went to, for athletics, he went to California. They had a better program. He exceeded whatever was available here for his track and field and stuff. And so he went over to California to do that, and he also went to North Carolina, I think, for that. And I have no idea how much it cost, but I think he had scholarships because he's like an exceptional athlete, I guess. And unfortunately, he freaking injured himself. He snapped his Achilles tendon. But he's healed in 1 year, and he was back to training after 1 year, which is, I guess, insane. I don't know. Community college, U.S. community college is not too expensive, but universities are crazy expensive. Yeah, we also have community colleges. I think there's like I don't know, a stigma is, I don't know if that's the right word, around community colleges and blue collar colleges in the U.S. for some reason. I don't know why that is exactly, because I mean you still can get degrees and whatever. I know that Ashley, she went to a regular college. I think it's a university actually now. But I think there used to be like a college, and a college was lesser than a university or something. But anyways, she has I don't want to speak out, I don't know. Does she have a degree or does she have something else? I think she has 2 degrees. I don't know. Ashley is freaking smart. She had like the gold rope thing. And apparently that means you're more smarter than the people who don't have the gold rope. I went to her ceremony thing where they like, and Ashley, for honors with the gold rope, come get your piece of paper that doesn't actually have anything on it. It just is a piece of paper with a ribbon around it. It's a fake diploma. You get your real one in a folder. And yeah, I think I even recorded it. I think that was a degree. I don't know. I'll have to ask her. But she has I don't know. She likes going to school. She's a nerd. And she actually told me yesterday, she's like, you know what? I was thinking. So I don't know if she's going to go back to school to do something else. But she likes to learn. I like to learn too, but I hate going to school. If there was a way to learn, like when I'm trying to learn something, I'm like, yo, can I ask you a question? Cool. That's how I'm going to learn. I'm going to do it while you're doing it, or you're going to show me. I'm going to do it. And if I have a question, I can ask you. You can answer it. If I have any follow-ups, I can ask you. You can answer them. Bam. I know how to do this now. After some practice, I will get good at it. When it's like, hey, read a book, take some notes, and then never do it, I'm not going to learn how to do it. Like, I didn't know how to do long division until grade 9. I could do it. But I never could confidently do it until grade 9. I think you learn how to do that in like grade 3, I think, or maybe grade 2. I think grade 3. And I just couldn't get it. And then in grade 9, my teacher, Mr. Shock, he was just like, dude, you're such an idiot. This is how you do it. He didn't actually call me an idiot, but he probably was frustrated because I just didn't understand it. And he probably didn't, he's like, how did you get up to grade 9? You don't even know how to do long division. But he like showed me, like, I think we spent like maybe a good hour. He was just like, okay, so you carry this, like say 9 into 110. I don't know, whatever. He's like, okay, so 9 doesn't go into a 1. So you put a 0 there. And I'm like, well, where does the 0 come from? He's like, well, don't put anything there. And then when he said, don't put anything there, I was like, oh, skip it. That's what the 0's for. This was not explained to me. Okay, how many times does 9 go into 10 out of, like, what did I say, 108? Okay, well, once. Oh, he said, okay, put a 1 there. I'm like, why would you put a 1? He's like, because it goes in there 1 time. I'm like, okay, it doesn't go in there 2 times because that would be 18. He's like, exactly. And I could ask these things, and then it came down, and then it was just like click, and then I knew how to do it from there on out. That's a good teacher. He was patient with me, and we figured it out. Now, I don't remember what the original question or comment was, but hopefully that answered it. The way you're learning is the way most schools are trying to teach engineering. I forgot how to do long division. I just use a calculator. Word, nowadays I would just use a calculator too. It wasn't practical back in those days because smartphones didn't exist yet, right? So I guess they were just coming out when I was in grade 9. They were just coming out, but before then, they didn't exist. Or maybe they were out maybe for a year or something like that. But like, you know, not everyone had one. Now everyone has one. So now you always have a calculator. But back then, you know, they're like, you're not always going to have a calculator on you. So you got to learn it. And it is good to learn anyway, right? It's good for your brain. Doing a water change again. I only have one left. I should have just freaking washed it. So you guys have my brain hamsters running to distract me. Ever thought about making skateboards or doing art on skateboards? Yes, I have done both. I've made longboards and I've painted on retired skate decks. Watch out there, Archie. I have a 40-year-old relative, has an MBA in education, now superintendent of schools, so still owes $80,000 in student loans. Holy shit. Yeah, student loans are a problem here as well, but I guess they're not that much. I know someone who went to school to be a private investigator, and he has student loans, but I don't know how bad they are. Cool ass job though. Oh, right. Okay, U.S. community college is not too expensive, but universities are crazy. Okay, that's the question I was on. The comment I was on. Yeah, so there's a stigma around like trade school. We call it it's just blue collar college, trade college, whatever. I don't know. Trade school and community college. It seems in the U.S. from what I understand, but maybe I'm wrong. But here, if you're blue collar, especially here in Alberta and Saskatchewan, maybe Manitoba as well, maybe every province, I don't know. But I know I live in Alberta, so here is a very blue collar type province. I guess you could say it's redneck to a large capacity. There's still a decent amount of culture and all that other jazz too. But there's like if you go to school to be an electrician or a plumber or a frame, you don't have to go to school to be a carpenter, but you can. All those different things like that. It's like the same as going to school to be a doctor. I mean, it's less time. Like trade school is like I think it's only 2 years, whereas like a doctor is like 8 years or something like that, right? Ashley went to school to be a nurse, which I think is 4 years, or maybe it's 5 years, something like that. She went to school for a long time though, because she did nurse and then she did something else and then something else. I don't know. Like I said, she's a nerd, so she goes to school a lot. She enjoys it. I think she likes like the challenge of things. But anyway, I think here, community college, I don't know because I don't know anyone who went to community college, but um, that I don't think anyone goes, oh, you went to community. Probably snobby people would, like someone who thinks they're better than you just out of those things that to me don't matter. But I think it's just a regular thing. Uh, the government used the children to get the First Nations to do what the government wanted. It was to get them to. Oh, you're talking about RCMP with the residential schools or something? Oh, the government owes y'all so much more because of what your ancestors went through. The way I look at it is it's a very unfortunate piece of history. It sucks. It's it's terrible the lingering effects that I guess we could just call it evil has on people. I think they're referencing the native folks in Canada and the US going through things. You could say the same about black folks going through what they went through with slavery and stuff. What? What, Arch? What do you want? Don't come up here. You guys hear Archie? Um, I can't tell anyone else what to do, but like, yeah, it's very frustrating and makes a person angry that people would do what they've done and continue to do nowadays as well. But for myself, I mean, my prime minister did not do those things to me, and doesn't do those things to me. I mean, he has his faults and other things, and I would say he panders a lot to his audience and stuff, but I don't know. I am lucky to have been born in this generation than my ancestors were born in their generation and stuff, and it's just so sad. Human beings can be so wicked, and that sucks. But yeah, I don't remember. I don't know what you guys were all saying. The past page for it. Are you indigenous through both your parents or just one? Yeah, through both of them. My mom. What are you doing up here, Arch? I said no. My mom is half, and my dad is full. So I guess you could say I'm like 75. But I look mostly not. It's mostly. Usually, it's only other native people who are like, "Oh, hey, what's up, cousin?" And then like, "Where are you from?" And sometimes other folks will be like, "Oh, hey, you look like you're something other than regular white. What are you?" But people are people. Most teachers don't even try anymore to teach their students. They get a paycheck no matter if the students pass or not. Yeah, they should get paid probably more. No, not probably. They should get paid more so that they care about their jobs. If you stop paying people to care, no, not paying people to care. If you pay people less than they're worth, they're not going to care. Some people will. Now, some people shouldn't be teachers. I briefly had a teacher who was like that, but she remained a teacher in my life for many more years. She was actually a bully. I don't know why she didn't like me exactly, but she would single me out, and she thought I was a loser, which is fine. Uh, uh, I remember. Okay, so you know when you're in elementary, you have an indoor pair of shoes and you have an outdoor pair of shoes, right? And your outdoor pair of shoes, obviously, you would leave in the boot room, and then you would have your indoor shoes for like being inside, right? That's very common for elementary. You may also do that in middle school and junior high, but where we went to school, there was no boot rooms for junior high. Um, there was just a door to come in. And so, but for whatever reason, this teacher, uh, she, she would always rag me about not having indoor shoes. And I'm like, how are my shoes any different than anyone else's shoes? This doesn't make any sense that you're singling me out. Like, everyone just walked through the same door wearing their same freaking shoes. And it's not like I was tramping around in mud. When you're in junior high, the cool thing to do is to stand in a spot with your friends, play hacky sack, or just talk. You don't do anything, which I don't really understand that. But anyway, so it would just frustrate me. Anyways, so she would, in a sense, bully me in this way. It's a very light. I'm not saying I went through a huge amount of persecution or anything, but it would just get on my nerves. And then, anyway, so one day, the thing that made me laugh is she's like, Josh, where are your, or no, she said, Mr. Joshua, where are your indoor shoes? If you do not have indoor shoes by lunchtime, I have some nice pink and purple ones you can borrow. And I was like, first of all, that makes no sense. There are no pink and purple shoes that would fit me. So, no, you do not. And so I call her bluff, and she never bothered me about my shoes ever again. And I still don't understand why. I guess I could go ask her now. She probably wouldn't remember, but I could ask her if she just didn't like me. Like, we're both adults at this point. She might be honest and answer me, but I did not like her. I still don't like her. There are other people who have worse stories about teachers, right? But I never had a terrible teacher myself. I probably did, but I don't really remember. Oh, I did have one. But he was only a teacher for a little while. He got transferred to a different school. I did have this awesome teacher, though, who got fired. I've told this story before, but we had this teacher. His name was Mr. Vietz. And Mr. Vietz, he had a very nice demeanor, if you will, right? He was just so chill. He looked like Colonel Sanders, kind of, but without the goatee. You know, he had like a Fred Flintstone hairstyle, but it was white. He had like a beer belly. I remember this one kid, Sam. He was like running, like he was facing this way. I'm Mr. Beats like this, right? And then I'm Sam right over here too, okay? Sam is like doing something, whatever, just playing with a kid in his class, whatever. He was older than me by, I think, 2 grades, maybe. Anyways, he's like doing something. He turns around and starts running, but Mr. Vietz is probably like, I don't know, 6 feet away from him. And he's looking behind him, and he's like going as fast as he can, right? He's like, he runs. Mr. Vietz is standing there like this, with his beer belly, or I don't know, beer, it's like a fat belly, you know, like a jolly old man. And Sam, boing, he like springs off of him and like lands flat on his back. It was one of the most hilarious things. Everyone erupted in laughter in the hallway. But anyway, I had him the next year in grade 3. I had him in grade 3. And we had this kid in our class. His name was Sean. And Sean was like super disruptive. Like, I was like usually like the class clown, or, you know, trying to make people laugh, trying to be funny, and, you know, being disruptive in ways that weren't necessarily irritating. But Sean, Dude, this kid, I don't even know what his deal was. He would always say, uh, how do I say this? He would always say the F word, but to get away with saying the F word, he would pronounce it with an E instead of a U. So he would say feck instead of, the actual F bomb. And so he would always say it. And we're reading or Mr. Veets after lunch, we had a quiet time or whatever you call it, right? And he would read a book to us. And this particular time was the BFG, the Big Friendly Giant. Uh, Sean, he sits in the back of the class. I sat in the back of the class too. I was all the way to the right, and Sean was almost all the way to the left. But he sat one row behind everyone because he was such a, I don't know, troublemaker in class. So he didn't even have a partner. Like we had double, her name was Tessa, sat right beside me. I remember Julianne and Kyla sat right beside them. And then there was, oh, what the heck was his name? Bradley, I think. He always threw up candy. I remember him having like a bag of candy. He'd be like, "This is all I'm throwing up today." And he'd throw up a handful of candy. He was like the Robin Hood of our class. He would go, his mom would always give him like $10 for lunch. And our school had a lunch store that you could buy like, pizza pops and candy and juice and stuff from. Anyway, he would always throw up candy. Him and Sam, a different Sam. No, Greg. His name was Greg. Sorry. Him and Greg. And then Sean would sit behind them. And then it was Siraj and the other Josh, I think. That's not important. I don't know why. I just, for some reason, it's coming to my mind. Anyway, so I'm sitting in the back. Mr. Veets is reading the BFG. Dude had big ears and he was friendly. He didn't eat the human beings, whatever. I don't remember what chapter and stuff we were on. But then there's Sean in the back going, feck, 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 feck. Over and over and over again. He just wouldn't shut up. And Mr. Veets is like, "Sean, stop. I'm going to put you out in the hallway." And he's like, "I don't fecking care." And I think he got that off of like a show, like maybe South Park or something. But anyways, he just kept saying it. And but he couldn't get in trouble for cursing because he wasn't technically saying any curse words. Anyways, Mr. Veets is reading. Here's one too many fecks. Takes the book, slams it on the ground, and he's like, "God damn it, Sean!" He marches up to Sean's desk, grabs him, pulls him over his desk, grabs him by his pant leg and his shirt, and he freaking he Mr. Banks him out of the classroom. He just like he was jazz. It was so good. Threw him out, comes back in, picks up the book, finds where he left off, starts reading again, and everyone was just like, "What? What is happening?" He just threw Sean out. And then he got fired, which makes sense because you probably shouldn't do that to a little child, right? Grade 3. How old are you in grade 3? Kindergarten is 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 years old. Man, Mrs. Brown's Boys show says feck a lot. Okay. My issue, according to the teachers, was always answer the questions being asked without putting up my hand to answer the question. I probably never had that problem because I would hardly ever answer the questions. Oh, Chris was bullied, it sounds like. All of the death threats placed in my locker in middle school and the RCMP getting involved. Oh yeah, I had a blast in school. Dude, that's too bad. I I was never bullied so terrible that it came to anything like that. And like I remember like actually in that same grade, I remember my mom was just like, "Hey, you should just punch him." And I was like, "Okay." So I had permission. So this kid, he would always punch me. She wasn't like, "Hey, go punch kids." Uh, and I would never do anything about it because I didn't want to get in trouble. But it would hurt, so I'd want to. Anyway, so he punches me one day, and I just wham right into his solar plexus, just poof, and he's like, and I was like I didn't know that was gonna happen, but he couldn't breathe, and he like falls down on the ground. And he's like, and I was like, quickly walk away, build a snowman or something. I remember it was in the winter, and yeah, that kid, his name was Devin. We became friends with each other after that. Uh, but he stole my girlfriend. She was never my girlfriend, but I really liked her. Um, but anyway, what were we talking about? Uh, I don't remember. We had a teacher who would slam a ruler on your desk if he didn't think you were paying attention in his class, would scare the crap out of you. Oh, that's not so bad. That's I would take that over again. Freaking jazzed out of the dude. And he was built like Philip Banks too. Except for he had hair and he was white. Oh snap, Chris. Worst teacher I ever had lifted me out of my desk by my ear. Like legit lifted me toward gland in my ear. Dude, dude, what? What? The worst teacher I ever had was grade two. I still remember her to this day, and I'm in my 50s, says Yvonne. Uh, sounds like you're missing a linkage or a spring. What? What shoes was I wearing? I was just wearing regular shoes, like just running shoes, right? Just whatever they were. I don't even remember what shoes they were. But like just shoes. Like maybe if she was like, "Hey, don't wear your winter boots in here," but I wasn't wearing winter boots. I was just wearing regular ass shoes. Uh, I'm not a fan of nuns still to this day. I wouldn't be either. Why were you fired from McDonald's? What? How did you know that? Nicola Johnson. Do you even have McDonald's where you're from, Nicola? Nicola is from uh wait, is this the same Nicola? Yeah. Nicola, I believe, is from Lithuania or something like that. I don't even know they have McDonald's there. But anyways, I got fired from McDonald's because I told my supervisor, actually no, not my supervisor, my team leader, that I wanted to melt her face in the bun toaster. She just got promoted and she just went on a major power trip. And I shouldn't have said that, granted. I shouldn't have said that, especially since she was a female and I'm a man. And like she was older than me by probably like maybe 5 years or something like that. But still, that's not a thing that a man should. Well, I was a kid. I was 14 or 13. I was 13. I was 13. But still, you shouldn't say that to. But she didn't say that to anyone. She just frustrated me so much. And she's like, okay, now do this, now do that, now do that. I'm like, dude, I'm the best. I know how to do this. What are you doing up here, Arch? You're not allowed on the counter, son. I was the best. And that's not saying much. Like McDonald's is not a hard job necessarily. It's hard work in a sense that you never stop doing something, but it's easy to grasp and easy to carry out for the most part. So, but I was just getting frustrated with her, and then I was just like, I think I was making a grilled cheese. Which, by the way, if you ask for a grilled cheese at McDonald's, at least at the McDonald's I worked at, they take 2 Big Mac middle buns, toast those, and then take a cheese. You butter the toast, take the cheese, put it in the microwave, and that's your grilled cheese. I guess it's okay. But what are you doing? Oh, I see what you're doing. You just want pets. Yeah, I was making a grilled cheese, and I was just like, she's like, "Are you making that grilled cheese?" And I was like, "God, I just want to melt your face in the bun toaster." And then she's like, "Pardon me?" And I was like, "Nothing." And then the next day, uh, my boss man, his name was Josh as well. he was like, "Hey, hop in the office and why don't we have a chat?" And he's like, "Dude," he's like, "I like you. I really like you. You're really good at this, and I can put in a word for you at one of the other stores, but you cannot you cannot be telling your superiors that you're gonna melt their face in the bun toaster." And he even told me that he thought it was funny and he understood that she was power tripping, but I still made a threat, which obviously I wasn't being serious, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. Where's the other cat? I have only seen this one lately. She's probably downstairs in the office. That's where I just was to grab this phone, and she was in there. Hey Josh, which McDonald's, Spruce or Stony? It was Stony. That's sad, but still wrong. Scariest teacher I knew, Mr. Singer in primary school. Always wore a kilt and would pin kids up against the wall with their feet off the ground. Dang. Heidi says I suck. Thank you, Heidi. Had a band teacher who threw an eraser at a big smartass bass drummer. What? Throw went short and about knocked out his skinny, quiet French horn player. Oh, okay. Like a chalkboard eraser? Threw it at a smartass bass drummer. Throw went short and about knocked out his skinny, quiet French horn player. Ah, I see. The roughest teacher was in grade 6. Mr. Greenfield. He would come up behind you and rap you on the top of the head with this huge ring on his finger. Yeah, see, like stuff like that. Obviously, that became illegal by my time. So if anyone ever would have done that to me, I'm pretty sure my older brothers would have messed them up, honestly. But never had to worry about any of that kind of thing happening to me. I did get a ruler on the top of my hand a couple times, which was weird, from Mrs. Robinson. Mrs. Robinson. That was strange because that was at a private school, at a Christian private school, to boot. And I was just like, this is the weirdest thing ever. You're gonna hit me because of why? Because I'm hilarious? Okay. I was just like, I just was not used to that in public school. I was just like, what the heck? And then they would give you merits and demerits. And merits were like money. Like they were treated it like money. And then every month you would go to the merit store and you could spend your merits on like pencils with broken lead, that were clearly from the dollar store, or uh like smelly stickers, stuff like that. I was like, okay. My daughter's social studies teacher in 7th grade had a sexual relationship with one of her classmates. Needless to say, he was living in a van down by the river. We had that, not in our school, but in a school, Mr. Smith, and he was in my friend's school, Jarrett. You know Jarrett? He was his gym teacher, and apparently everyone knew, or it was a rumor, but when he got found out, he suicided himself. So problem solved. That's disgusting. Anyway, let's end this on a up note. Let's answer one last question, and then we will sign off for the evening. Thanks for hanging out this evening here. Remember, tomorrow we're going to do a supper, unfinished kitchen. Not a build, but we're gonna build supper, whatever that's called. We're gonna make something with chicken. So tune in. It's gonna be around, let's say, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Right now it's 11:15. It's more like 11:17, really. Actually, it's 11:09. This microwave is always wrong. Let's say it's 11. Let's say it's around 11. So 5 hours ago, right? Yeah, 5 hours ago, we'll go for supper. Well, we'll make supper. We're not going to go anywhere for supper. You'll come here, hopefully, and we'll make something, see how it turns out, and then I'll let you know how it tastes. How about that? You're going to hit me because I'm hilarious? That's basically, that's basically what it was. That's basically what it was. I was the best. I mean, I was probably frustrating. Yes. But I always made my teachers laugh because I was just funny. And I'm not the funniest person in the world. I'm not saying that. But yeah. Uh, Mike, you got your comment deleted because you used a curse word. But that's hilarious. In high school, my wife worked at a Taco Bell, and a previous coworker got fired for shitting in the refried beans. That's a little harsh. I would never do that because that doesn't your boss man is just gonna throw out the beans, wash the pan, or throw out the pan or whatever. But all those customers, I would never do that. I worked in fast food. I would never do anything to anyone's food. That's crossing a line. I might, forget their ketchup or, do something like give them a cold chicken cutlet, but I'm not gonna spit in it. Would never do that. That's disgusting, but that's hilarious. It's hilarious in a terrible way. Uh, okay. Chris, man, you had a terrible school career. Uh, I have a beautiful soul. Well, thank you. Okay, we need one last question here to end this up on a high, positive, fun note. What's the last question? Ask away and I'll pick one. Uh, Buy, don't let your meatloaf. Don't let your meatloaf. What does that mean? Don't let your meatloaf? I don't know what that means. I don't like meatloaf. Here's a funny story. When I was still only dating Ashley, I would always be invited over for supper because I would always be over at her house, right? And when I worked at this job I hated, it was like right down the road from her. It was like, I don't know, 5 minutes away. And so I would go there after, like in the morning. I like if I worked a night shift, I would go there in the morning sometimes, have breakfast with them, and then go home and go to bed. Or if it was like the day shift, get off at 3, I would go there. We would watch Mythbusters, and then we would watch. I forget what the show is called, but they try to find Bigfoot and like unicorns and chupacabras, whatever. I forget what it is called. Chasing Monsters or something. No, it wasn't called that. Some. Anyways, then I would have supper there. And then this particular time, they're like, "Hey, do you want to stay for supper again? We're having meatloaf." And I was like, no thanks. I don't like meatloaf. I will go home for supper." And I go home. And my mom's like, "Oh, perfect. Just in time for dinner. I made meatloaf." And I was like, "No." So I texted Ashley and I'm like, Guess what I'm having for supper here at home? Meatloaf." And they thought that was funny. Okay, let's find a question here. Are you going to clean the cheese when you cook tomorrow? I don't know if we'll use cheese. Um, where's the carrot cake? I haven't had any yet. Will you do another live sculpture or painting? I will do another live sculpture and another live painting. Will I do an all-day live? Perhaps. Will I do an hour at a time live? Perhaps. As for the paintings, we have another, speaking of chupacabras, Bigfoot, and unicorns, we have another painting to do. I've been asking my Patreon subscribers, whatever you call them, patrons, ass kickers, what they think I should paint on the 2 remaining paintings that I have. We have some good suggestions, and I'm going to choose one of those, or maybe I'll just think of something on my own as well. Who knows? We'll see. And we'll be doing that maybe next week sometime. I actually had planned to do it already, but I just got a little too busy for it. Right now I'm working on a painting I'm going to try to finish. So Yeah. Um, uh, Chris is going to be here in Alberta. Okay, well, I look forward to meeting you, man. I love to watch you work on art projects. You amaze me, Joshua. Well, thank you. Uh, will I do a clay sculpture? Probably not. I mean, I've done clay sculptures, but I probably won't do one live. They didn't make the meatloaf the right way because meatloaf is... Okay, we'll end on this. No, this is a little sour. Meatloaf is gross to me because of the meatloaf taste, not because of any other thing. I also don't like stew, but I don't like stew because someone didn't put in Italiano. I don't like it because of the stew taste. Stew has a distinctive taste that tastes bad. Meatloaf has a distinctive taste that tastes bad. Fish has a distinctive taste that tastes bad. The best way I can describe it is this. I had carbon monoxide poisoning, and one of the things that was prescribed to me is fish oil because of my brain damage, okay? And if you ever had fish oil, you know it does not taste good. Even if you love fish, fish oil is disgusting unless you have some sort of anomaly within your taste palate. Your taste buds are very robust, but fish oil is gross. Okay, no matter what, it's disgusting. That taste in fish oil, that's the taste I taste when I taste fish. Can I say taste enough? So when I'm tasting fish, I am also tasting the nice smokiness. I'm tasting the nice spice rub you put on it. All that. That part probably would be great if it wasn't for the fishy taste. That fishy taste just ruins it. Imagine you're just like, you know what we could really go for? A nice peach. But if you could drizzle some fish oil on there, that would be fantastic. No one would eat peaches like that. And that's why I don't eat fish, because of that. Salmon loaf, I've had lots of that. Gross. That's worse than meatloaf. I would rather eat meatloaf than salmon loaf, right? My mom would be like, why are you using so much lemon juice? I would practically have the lemon juice. I don't know how you guys had your salmon loaf, but with our family, we would serve it with lemon juice, put it on there. I would have that so I could be like, so I could choke it down. I didn't know that there was such a thing because I didn't want to be a picky eater, but I am, but only of things I don't like. I never pretend to not like something because of what it looks like or because of its texture or anything like that. I have to just not like the taste for me to not want to eat it. There might be some things where I would be hesitant to try because, you know, it might be a little weird, but if it tastes good, I'm not going to pretend that it doesn't, you know? So, yeah, salmon loaf, I just like, ugh, gagging on it. Mushrooms, same thing. I don't like it. So, I'm willing to try your, what was it? Meatloaf? Who was that? Who was that? Do you taste it in seafood too? Yeah, it's like that seafood taste, fishy taste. Who was that? It's the loaf part. Okay, here's a good question to end on. Any collaboration with Alex coming up? I will answer that question as the last question. The painting I'm working on, is it a commission? It is not. Crinkle, Crinkle. If I ever meet you, for whatever reason, we happen to be in the same spot. If you don't get the fish oil tablets that say they don't do the aftertaste, they will keep having the taste come back up. If you don't get the fish oil tablets that say they don't do the aftertaste, they will keep having the taste come back up. No, I was prescribed fish oil, not fish oil tablets. I had to drink it. Now I still take the fish oil tablets, but at the time I had to drink oil. It was horrible, but I didn't want my brain to be fried. So I did it. Yeah, but crinkle. I will still try your meatloaf because everyone says that. They're like, oh, you just haven't had it made right. Wait till you try mine. Then I try theirs and I go, oh, it turns out that you also don't make it right because this tastes just as bad as all the other ones. You know, it's all in whatever makes meatloaf meatloaf. Whatever that taste is, I don't like. Okay, let's end it here. Is there a collaboration with Alex coming up? Yes, sort of. Not really, but kind of. In one of his upcoming vlogs, I don't know when, or maybe he's not going to release it until it's ready. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what the collaboration is. It's not really a collaboration, but he has commissioned me to make something for his home. Okay? Oh, my brother Ken is here. He said, end it. I just got here. By the way, guys, hey, remember that vlog where Ken was in it for me? Not Alex? Where we made those frames for our mom? Well, guess what? You can buy his art as well. And guess who you're going to deal with to do so? Ashley has been taking care of his side of things as well. So if you email orderfromjosh@gmail.com and you want to buy a print of something, a sculpture, a cutting board, pencil pack, stickers, anything like that, you're talking to Ashley almost every time. If you're not talking to Ashley, I will sign my name usually. Sometimes I forget. Then you'll know you're talking to me. But almost always you're talking to Ashley. Similarly, however you say that, if you email orderfromken@gmail.com and you want to get one of his pictures, you're also talking to Ashley. And Ashley will take care of your order. And if you want to know what he has available, well, you can always inquire by emailing, and we will show you. Well, Ashley will show you. There's not all of his pictures are not available. He's still sussing the ones that are, but you can check out his Instagram. So see how his name is. That's how you find him on Instagram. sh_ke_bob. But his email is orderfromken@gmail.com. So if you would like to check out his photography, it is fantastic, and you may enjoy it. Yeah. I'm washing my ass while watching this nonsense. From Jay. Ashley blocked him, but sometimes when I see the deleted stuff, that stuff, I don't know why, but trolls to me are freaking hilarious. Oh, shish kebab is without the underscore. Okay, sorry. Whatever it is, you'll be able to find it. SHKEBOB. You'll be able to find it, okay? So go follow him even if you don't want to buy anything. But please buy something because why not? So yes, to answer the question as we sign off here, my ex-husband's step-grandmother made the best meatloaf I ever had. She put diced green pepper in it. Hey, I'm not saying that other people won't like it. I just say that I probably won't, but I'm willing to try it. I remember my grandma, not my grandma, but like my Angela, my grandfather's wife, I told her I didn't like stew, but she made stew, so I ate it, and I didn't like it, and I didn't tell her that until she asked, but she didn't make a bad stew because everyone else loved it, or unless they were lying, but it had that stew taste, and I'm like, for whatever reason. Ashley made soup for like, I don't know, enough for, I don't know, maybe 3 meals. And it smelled so good. I was like, dang, it smells so good. And I ate it, and I didn't like it, but I didn't want to say anything. So I just pretended it was fine. And then I was like, okay, we need to stop having this, because if you tell someone that something's good, they're probably going to believe you, and they're going to keep serving it. So I had to be like, you know what, Ashley, sorry, I don't like this soup. And I find out I'm like, wait a minute. Why is this so thick? I was like, she's like, oh, I haven't added broth to it. And I was like, well, we had this yesterday. She's like, yeah, it thickens up. And I'm like, this is stew, isn't it? And she burst out laughing. She tried to trick me. She thought I was, not that I was lying, but like maybe I was being picky or something. But no, I actually don't like it. And so she got me there because I was like, there's something about this soup. I couldn't place it, but it was the stew taste. Now, if she would have said it's stew, I would have been like, oh, it's the stew taste. Yes. Um, Same with my mom's stew, don't like it. Any stew I've ever had, I haven't liked. But I always try it, just in case. I will like it. But anyway, to answer the question that we're ending with. Yes, I am making something for Alex. It's not really collaborative per se, but it is something for him, for his home. He will be mentioning it on one of his vlogs, and I will also be vlogging it over on my side. I haven't started that yet. It's just a thing that I have on the list. Luckily, I'm done all of the things that are related to that type of thing. So I never skip over anyone. So if someone has like for example, if I have 10 dragonflies to make, I'm caught up on all the dragonflies. I have one dragonfly to make. Actually, sorry, I have one dragonfly to make, and it is a more realistic dragonfly. I have one dragonfly to make. But for the regular dragonflies, let's say I have 10. And let's say John asks for a dragonfly first, and let's say Alex wants number 11. I'm not going to make Alex's first. I'm going to make John's first. And sometimes I don't make them all right away because I don't have things like, for example, butter knives for the wings. That's what I always use for the wings, almost always anyways, unless I have other things that I can also use that also look good. Right? John gets his first because he ordered his first. Now, if I have time and the material to make, I don't know, someone else wants a tarantula, for example. I've made a couple tarantulas, and I have the stuff to make it. I will make that so that they don't have to wait in line because I have the stuff for them. But if there's 10 tarantulas to make, I will make the first one, whoever ordered it first. Well, when I run out of that material and I happen to get more dragonfly materials, bam, John gets his. So-and-so, 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 and then Alex will get his when all these people. I never skip anyone. So, anyways, the sculpture that I'm making for him, or whatever you want to call it, that I'm making for him, I'm done all the other ones that I have to make that are similar. Just because I don't want anyone to be, well, I happen to finish them before that. But I never want anyone to think that I'm neglecting them because I do really appreciate everyone who's ordered something from me and their incredible patience. Because some people have been waiting like 2 years for their whatever. And I mean, we email you when we realize that we're probably not going to get more materials. Like whoever you are who ordered turtles, the little sea turtles, I thought I would always be able to get the seashell. So I took all the orders that came through. But then we emailed everyone. We said, hey, probably not going to get any more, unfortunately. Sorry, but if you want to stay on the list, we'll keep you on the list. And there's like, I don't know, like maybe 20 people who want the sea turtles. But, you know, some of those same people, they also want roosters. I've been making roosters. I don't know how many I've made, whatever. This, that, and the other thing. Gene has a question. I love my dragonfly. Will it rust if I put it outside? Probably. I've sprayed it with a clear coat, but I think the rust adds to it, honestly. I like it. The wings probably will not rust because they're stainless steel. And probably the body, depending on what I made it out of, if it's a chromed... Since I welded it, it'll burn off some of the chrome, so it will rust a bit. Anything, I don't know. It's up to you. I don't care if they rust. I like that, so it's up to you. The dragonfly has been sprayed with a good outdoor clear coat. It shouldn't rust. It will eventually as it wears off, but he is correct, yes. You need more employees. Yeah, employees who want to work for free. Okay. What kind of seashells are you looking for? I'm not looking for any seashells per se, except for really cool conches. Conches and giant clamshells. I will always love those because they're so cool. I think we have enough of an up note. There's no more bummer stuff. So let's say goodnight, and tomorrow, remember, we're having supper. Again, if you want to order anything, orderfromjosh@gmail.com. That's all my stuff. Same with my brother, orderfromken@gmail.com. You can see his stuff on his Instagram, SHKEBOB. He does photography. It's really good. If you don't believe me, just go look. My other brother, Jakota, he has his stuff available as well. Orderfromjack@gmail.com. And then who else? I don't know. Will, my brother Will, he doesn't have an email, but you should go check him out too. I forget what is this. I think it's Casper's Creations is his. I think that's his. Not his email. His YouTube. K's instead of C's. And Z's instead of S's. Okay, guys. Any metal inside will eventually rust or tarnish. To keep the dragonfly from rusting, recoat it annually with clear coat. See, my brother, Ken, he's such a nerd. Recoat it annually. Yeah, that's a way better way of saying it than me just going like, eventually it will, because it'll wear off. He is way more helpful than me. Yeah, there we go. Nicola. Thank you, Nicola. Casper's Creations. That's how you spell. I think it's Z's though instead of S's. I think it's Casper's. But thank you, Nicola from Tibet. I will see you guys later. Good night. See you tomorrow at 6.